Oh, hey, don't mind me. I'm just out here admiring our new slab. It's amazing. I've never seen a slab pour. I've never been a part of anything like this. And I saw the entire process of this going in the ground. This is a tension slab, so it's supported by tension cables, which is an unbelievable process. I saw it all happen, and I'll show you. Welcome to the video. Yee yee.
Raise 'em up to the sky. If you're trying to throw down, get a little country fade, take it way on out. Park a truck in the line. If you're looking for a buzz and the girls in love with the boys in the blue collars, holler. Yee yee.
You go 2 everywhere else, maybe.
2, 2, 2, 3 from this back panel to give you space from the hinges.
Yeah, like I said, we go right at 3.
I tell them hinge side, float the inside of the board 3 inches from the outside of the box.
Yeah,
we're excavating.
archaeology.
It's awesome.
Yeah, about another ½ inch would be 2 right here.
There you go.
If that was the opening around it?
Yeah, makes sense.
They keep it pretty tight on the diagram they sent us. But this is the garage right here. See that? Where they walk into the garage.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got a float board right here, because the garage has to be lower than the house.
Yeah.
Basically an exterior door. Even though this is going to be all framed and sheetrocked, this all has to be dropped down.
So every time there's a float board like this, it drops down, foundation drops down, which is here, garage, porches, and master shower. Those are all the places where the foundation will level down. This is the map for the cable crew coming today, and that could take them up to 2 days, huh?
It'll take them up to 2 days,
A lot of work.
depending on when they show up.
That is a lot of cable. How big are those spools they're gonna bring?
Over 100 foot long, some of them, for sure. You'll have 60, 75 foot lengths and then over 100 foot lengths, so they can run the full span of this beam right here. To get all the way across is over 98 feet. So it's gonna be over 100 foot because it's gotta stick out a bit so that they can connect the tensioner to it after we pour.
Right.
And then they run the tensioner that creates the tension that puts the pounds of pressure on it that holds the thing together.
And why is this better than the traditional rebar?
It's more structural, basically.
Makes everything a single unit more than just individual lines of rebar. Able to kind of have the far right versus the far left kind of move together as the house settles versus, you know, letting each side kind of operate a little bit more independently. Rebar more just kind of holds concrete together, but less holds it as a kind of, you know, contiguous unit, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
closer. We are only, since I started filming, 2 hours, and you could already see a slab. And it's so windy and cold, which is perfect for pouring concrete. It's not wet. So I was sitting here talking to Rob and looking at these anchor bolts, which is, there's a couple ways that you're gonna hold the lumber to the slab, which I was just wondering about, and then he started answering my question.
Yep. So we got these kind of basically metal, screws coming out of the ground. They lock into the concrete. When we put the bottom plates down where the walls are gonna go, those kind of get a hole screwed out, and they'll put a washer and a bolt, like a 1/2-inch bolt on top of that, screw those down nice and tight, so that'll keep all the walls set on the edges. And then certain ones we're gonna do kind of concrete nails that get basically shot like a 22 into the concrete. So those will kind of intersperse those, and those are gonna go mostly on the inner walls as well. So as we start to build the walls inside the home, you're gonna have some concrete nails holding those in. And then we use what's called wind bracing straps, or basically they're HTT5s is kind of their official name. Those are gonna then run up some of the corner boards, and they're engineered for their location. And so those have about 20 some big framing nails that lock into different posts around the edges, or different kind of endpoints around the edges. So all that kind of works together to hold the house down into the slab all said and done.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was like, is it just, concrete nails throughout the entire build, but then I guess that those anchor bolts on the edges just create the stability on the outside.
Exactly.
Let me go to the anchor bolt right here. These guys right here. These guys. I was gonna say to you, Rob, if you think about it from this perspective and how deep this is, that's like 3 feet, right?
Yeah, about 6 inches, yeah.
So solid concrete, 36 inches down.
Yep.
This is not going anywhere.
No, exactly. And
this house is not going anywhere for 300 years.
No, you'd have
and
to.
when that blows away in 300 years, the concrete is still in the ground for 1,000 years.
That's why you see, like in old neighborhoods or like downtown, you'll see a house has gone away and the slab is still sitting there, right?
Yeah, and those were old style slabs.
That was exactly.
But this kind of slab is 1,000-year slab.
You got tons and tons of concrete sitting in.
This will be here 1,000 years.
And we can call them footers too, because I read on some of your comments, people were saying in the north we call those footers. So beams, footers, whatever you want to call them.
Beams, footers. Yeah, comment below if you're from the north and you call it footers.
Yep.
We're restoring a truck on this channel too.
Right.
And there's so many differences in terms.
Yeah.
One of the things we're saying is, do you call it a motor or an engine? Because some people are like, we call it motor, like, Detroit is Motor City.
Motor City, I guess.
But other people are like, no, it's only motor if it's electric.
It's an electric motor.
If it's piston powered, it's gasoline, or it's an engine.
That's an internet conversation for us. That's the only,
Footers and headers and motors and engines.
Motors and engines. Footers and beams.
So when they're going to pull these cables tight, how do you pull? What's the technology that pulls these tight, and when do you do that?
Just a big gas-powered machine. So we got to let it cure. So with the weather that we have, say 2 weeks, it'll be cured enough, and then another crew will come, and they have this kind of big machine that basically just pulls the heck out of them, and pulls it's almost like 30,000 psi to basically pull the whole thing together. And once they get it there, then they'll screw on a kind of a back bolt that then kind of anchors back towards each side of the concrete. So we have one existing on the other side. We'll pull against that until we get that amount of pressure that we need, and then they'll cut that line, block it here, holding that pressure.
And how are you measuring that pressure?
It's just the machine pulls it and basically gauges it.
So it has a gauge, like a torque.
Like a torque gauge, exactly. Until they kind of get to the desired pressure, and then once they're there, they'll put basically a nut and a bolt, the bigger version of that, on the end to then hold it, and then we just cut that, the exposed line from there, and then just cap it with some extra concrete, and then we'll just fill over, and you'll never see them.
Yeah, that grease is nasty.
It'll stick with you.
It
won't come out.
Yeah, that's crazy. One benefit of working in Texas is tamales. You got tamales?
Tamales.
You making tamales?
Tamales.
Come on. Tamales, I'm here. Breakfast.
I think he only brought like 3 for him.
How many you got for me? You got a dozen for me? That's gonna be good. A little campfire.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while.
That's great. Hey Roy, let me see your finger.
Yeah, it's 4.
4. That's from him? That's from a sledgehammer? You knock his finger off? So this is Sam, Lander Construction. How much does that truck cost?
About $670,000.
$670,000 for that truck. So if you want to start a concrete business, you got to get a big old
You gotta
loan.
have deep pockets.
Deep pockets for that pump truck. And you said that's not your biggest pump truck.
No, that's a 38 meter, and we have up to 63 meter, which goes about 190 feet.
So how many pump trucks do you guys have? 12. And that's not including, that's probably, I'm guessing, at least a $15,000 paint job on it.
Probably.
You get the truck for $670,000.
And then
And then you got to go
you know,
pay
you gotta
15,
have
20,
bling bling. You know,
$20,000 for the bling with the red, white, and blue Bigfoot. How long does that battery last?
Oh, about day and a half.
Oh, that's good.
What you doing? How long you run the job?
So you just sit out here all day with the remote control and run a crane.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. How'd you get that job?
Well, I just been doing it since I was 23. So
Really?
on and off, so just kind of get good at it, learn from there.
Yeah.
It's always a learning experience, so learn something new every day. Tamales, amigo.
Tamales. It's so good. So good. So there you have it. This is something I heard. So on the end of the slab, you could see the cables, which I showed you earlier. And they're coming out right here. Now, I've been told that, and these haven't been tightened yet, but whenever they're tightened, they'll be pulled at 30,000 pounds, each of them. And so it pulls this whole thing tight from underneath the concrete. It's a really innovative way of supporting your house from beneath and allowing the entire process to move from all edges with each other. So not one part contracts or expands or rises without pulling the rest of it with it. It's funny, you know, it's like I mentioned earlier to the guys, this will be here for 1,000 years, and that might even be a low number. This will be here long after the house itself has been swept away by the world. And it's a cool feeling. We have a Bible that we put in the ground, Amber and I and the kids. We actually put a Bible and a Lightning McQueen race car. And so this is the kitchen area, the kitchen island right here. And the Bible is right here. So directly under me, about 4 feet down, is the Bible and the Lightning McQueen right by the kitchen island and the back door. It's going to be something really neat to know that that's there, that we built our house on a Bible. And I guess what's so important to me about this video is that I'll be able to go back into all the parts of building our dream farmhouse, and we'll be able years from now to see it like this and to see it grow right before our eyes. Something I need to tell you guys on this video, if you're planning on watching more, which I hope you are, we're at a little bit of a standstill because of the crazy price of lumber because of COVID. So we're gonna hold off just a little bit. The price is trending down of lumber, which some of you might already know that, and it's affecting the whole world. It's some level. So we're gonna wait for it trending down a little bit more, maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks, which to you watching this video won't be that much time. But for me, this whole year has been about patience. And we're cool with that. We're cool with being patient and doing things right and saving money where we can. And it's a significant amount of money if we could wait a little bit longer for the price of lumber. I appreciate you guys. Amber's pulling in right now. She's got the kids with her. I'm gonna go hang out with them. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time. Yee yee.